Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Urick? Kish is here. I hear Urick coming in now. All right, I have the August 26, 2025 Amherst Township meeting minutes. The meeting was called to order at 7:03 p.m. by Lynch with a pledge to the flag. Roll call, Lynch, Urick, and Kish were present. Abraham was absent. Also in attendance, Case Marsh, G. Lynch, R. Valentin, T. Watson, and B. Thomas. 8/8/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 12, 2025 as read. All ayes. 8/9/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, moved to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented. All ayes. 8/10/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, moved to approve that the July 2025 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. The fiscal officer reported she has not heard back from the individual taking Michael's position from the state auditor's office. Welcome and audience concerns. T. Watson, a resident on Tina Lane, and her brother B. Thomas regarding drainage issues on Rice Road and Middle Ridge Road that were brought up at the last meeting. They wanted to correct a few things they heard at the meeting and why surveyorship was going to be done. They both shared information on work that has been done and questioned what the problem is. Trustee Lynch noted that there is definitely flooding on the properties, and he was out there with the Lorain County Stormwater Community Development Coordinator, Don Romanchik, and saw it for himself. He suggested we wait till the professionals complete their job and revisit this after we have their report. Under correspondence, Trustee Lynch noted that Amherst Township Trick or Treat will be on Sunday, October 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. NOPEC General Assembly meeting will be held at 10:30 a.m. at November 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn of Twinsburg, and noted he will be attending the meeting. But should something happen, Elyria Mayor Kevin Brubaker is approved to vote on our behalf. Also, the Lorain County Farm Bureau and Lorain County Conservation District annual meeting will be held on Thursday, September 11th, 2025 at the Wellington Eagles, 631 South Main Street, Wellington, Ohio. Under reports for zoning, the zoning inspector Valentin noted that we have had 5 permits so far for August, 2 for new construction. Year to date, we have had 114 permits, with 55 being new construction. Board of Zoning Appeals met on August 20th and approved the M&K Trucking conditional use permit. August 27th, an area variance will be heard for a new home at 48107 Northridge Road. Under Roads, Cemetery, and Parks, Road Superintendent Case Marsh spoke with the salesman at Glendale Road Machinery regarding delivery of the new plow truck and was unable to obtain a commitment on a delivery date. Sandstone Excavating will begin the Rustic Hill concrete replacement the second week of September. We received the estimate for the Deepwood Lane concrete replacement project, and we will be working on the OPWC grant application paperwork that is due September 5th. 8/11/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, moved for authorization to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs and to execute contracts as required. All ayes. Under complaints, they are being handled by the designated individual. Trustee Lynch has been working with the prosecutor's office regarding a potential annexation in the vicinity of Fowle and Albrecht Roads. Nothing to report now. Under new business, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. 8/12/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, moved to adjourn at 8:10 p.m. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the August 26, 2025 meeting minutes?
I have none.
Then I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Abstain.
Okay, then you have in front of you your financial reports, and I'd like to note that everything is boilerplate except for our Amherst utility bill, which was $797.56, due to what I was told, 4 months of no reading the meter because there was water in the pit and they couldn't get reads. When they finally got the read, this was the amount. So I did a little investigating, Linda did investigating, Kevin did investigating. I believe Linda is going to ask for a credit, and we have to have someone look and see, there is water in the pit, that we believe there could be a leak. Kevin will tell you all about it.
There is a leak after the meter, but the meter was shut off, the water was shut off, and we were going to use water out of it to clean some graffiti off of the portable toilets there at the park, so we turned it on, and that's when we noticed the leak. It was filling up, but just because the pit has water in it, it's a radial read, so it's not like they're, I don't know why they said that. But there is a leak, and someone must have turned it on at a time, but then turned it off because we didn't know there was a leak until that time that we were going to use it, and it come bubbling up out of the pit, and it pours out. There's a connection from that meter to the yard hydrant that is leaking. It's probably either the tail end of the meter pit or the shoe of the yard hydrant.
And that's,
Never noticed it before, you know.
okay, but that is Lorraine water, and it's after the shut-off valve?
That's Amherst water.
Down at the park, right?
Yes.
But it's, the leak is after the shut-off valve then? Otherwise it'd be leaking all the time, right?
Yeah, the leak is, you know, you have a shut-off valve, then the meter that goes to the yard hydrant. It's somewhere after that valve,
Okay.
and also on the other side of the meter. So when it's turned on, that meter would be flying,
Yeah,
but we didn't have it on.
Which our bill has been pretty, it's been the same amount until
The minimum.
this month. And I was like, if you've not been able to read it for 4 months, why, you know what? That was my question with her. And she was like, well, the water was in there. And then I was like, okay, well, are you guys going to check for the leak? And she was like, oh no, we don't do that. She said, you can have your utility department look at it. I'm like, you are our utility department.
yeah, well, you know who to talk with. It's
Yeah.
Ron, it's probably someone in the office. They
I've
might
been
not
meaning
know.
to get to it. It's just one of the things where we hadn't been asked for water,
Yeah.
for the baseball fields. So it was kind of on the back burner. And we found out that there was a leak there. That was over 2 months ago. And for the most part, for the past 10 years, there's always water in that pit. It's at the bottom of the hill. That's why I say it's a radio read. So, but now hearing more of the story, the lady on the phone.
Yeah,
she's
she probably didn't know.
Right.
We just had a $633.51 higher bill for
Than normal.
water than
Yeah,
normal.
It stands out when you normally don't get it.
Yeah, I like opened it going, what?
How long is that line, Kevin? How long is that line from the meter to where you say a hydrant?
4 feet.
So we're not talking about like hundreds of feet, we gotta check a line.
It's probably just the tail end of the meter where it hooks up to the yard hydrant. Something happened there, but I know it's down low. It probably, I'm gonna say it wasn't a freezing, it didn't freeze. Because the bottom of the meter, which usually gives out in a freeze action, that's still okay. This is down deep.
Well, again, you know who you have to talk with, because I don't think they want us working on their utility. That'll,
Well, after the meter, it'd be our responsibility.
yeah, right, after the meter.
Correct.
So
That's
that
fine.
led to a conversation where Linda informed me to be watching for the city of Elyria water bill because that is going to be higher also because there's a leak.
The hot water tank.
Oh, the hot water tank, that's right.
Yeah.
So, but she will ask for a credit on that. We know we will probably get that one for sure because it's been longer than 2 years that we didn't qualify
Yeah.
the last time. And then she was going to work with Amherst to see if we could get
See if we'll get
something
a
back.
credit, since it's, usually if they notice that it's a leak, we can get a credit if it's something outrageous compared to what we usually use. So,
Yeah, most of the utilities usually have that.
yeah.
So other than that, the bills are just our regular monthly bills. And our revenue to date is $1,623,247.34. And our expenditures are $851,129.36. Any questions?
There's no financial questions for Chris? Maybe they'll come up at the budget hearing. All right, well, hearing none, then I'm going to make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payments, the items on the payment listing as specified in the documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second,
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
yes.
Abraham
Abstain.
And the number on that, Chris?
is 9-2. And then the only thing I really wanted to mention, I still have not heard anything back from the state auditor, so I reached out to Kiney directly to say, what is up? I don't want to be going into January of next year to finish that one and starting another one, so I'll let you know.
Okay, all right, thanks, Chris. All right, at this time, I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance, and Rich, I know you're the only one. If you want to come up to the podium and introduce yourself.
Excuse me, I have been getting over a cold. I think I'm over it, though. It's just cough still lingers. Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Ramsey. My friends call me Rich. I'm an attorney. I'm here because I'm one of the two people running to replace Judge Januzzi in Oberlin Municipal Court. Amherst Township is part of the Oberlin Municipal Court District, so anybody that commits a misdemeanor offense in the township, or any person where there's a dispute between individuals not to exceed $15,000, or any kind of landlord-tenant issue in this area, is going to go to the Oberlin Municipal Court. Our judge there is Thomas Januzzi, and he's retiring, or at least not seeking re-election this year. So that leaves an open seat. There are two candidates. I am one of them, and I'm asking for everybody to consider voting for me. I wanted to take a minute and introduce myself. I wanted to try to go around to the different meetings and see the different trustees in the territory. So I'm here today. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If anybody wants to know a little bit more about me, I am from Amherst originally, the city, and then I did live in the township briefly over in Hidden Valley and on Oak Knoll for a couple years when I was real young. But basically, I'm an Amherst kid, Amherst schools, law degree from Cleveland State. My undergrad was from Capital University in Columbus. I've run my own law practice, my own private practice for about 22 years now in Amherst. I own my building there. Had employees. I've also been the treasurer of the city of Amherst I was elected 3 times. I just recently resigned from that in order to be able to come to these kinds of meetings, because we would meet on Monday nights as well. Or this is Big Tuesday rather, but most meetings, as you know, other areas are on Mondays. So I've been practicing in that court pretty much my entire career. I've done probably any kind of case you can do in that court I've done. I used to take appointments from there when I was a younger attorney. That's how we sort of get our feet wet and cut our teeth and learn how to be attorneys. So I have a lot of history down there. I have a lot of history and success in maintaining a public office and managing people. The people that work for me tend to stick with me. So I invite anybody that's interested to follow up with me, or even talk to the people that I've worked with or that have worked for me. Again, my name is Richard Ramsey, and asking for everybody's vote in November. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard.
Anyone have any questions? Well, won't be a question, but I'll give a tidbit since I've known Rich more his family for quite a few years, and something he probably won't tell you when he was at Amherst Schools is he wrestled heavyweight.
Yes.
And the one thing you could be assured, if the score was close and it got to heavyweight, Amherst was going to win.
I don't know about that. I had one move, and it wasn't a good move. I mean, I had a roll, and that was about it, We had much better success in the football team in those years.
Your size helped.
It sure did. Yeah. I appreciate that, though. No, yeah, we had a real good football team, though, back at,
Oh, yeah.
95 team. We went to the
That was
playoffs.
Coach Risen, I believe.
Coach Risen. Quarterback was Rick Schneider,
Yeah.
or Douche. Everybody knows Jeremy Douche. What was real neat is Amherst recently had a combined reunion for all the classes. And so we went to that, and this young lady happened to have a sweatshirt with a picture of literally our offensive line on the field, like huddling. Of all things, the offensive line,
Yeah, right.
And so I got a picture of myself with this thing. It's really cool. But anyway,
Oh, good.
I can go on and on. Thank you, guys. I appreciate
The
the time.
president of the quarterback club lived right across the street here.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Those were, God, I feel like Al Bundy talking, about, the good old days and stuff.
Well, those are the things you normally won't tell people.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm not the best politician. I don't do a real good job of talking about myself, but I would love to I like to get with people and explain and talk law and things like that, So, I probably shouldn't make a business request. I'd say if anybody wants me to make sure their house stays out of probate, let me know. I like doing that kind of stuff, so.
Okay, well, good.
Anyway,
Good luck to
appreciate it,
you, Rick.
everybody.
Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. Chris?
Everything I have, you've got on the agenda, so.
David?
I have nothing to bring forward at this time.
Okay, Denny?
Nothing.
All right, we've got, let's see, 6 items on here. First one, I think I did send an email out to everyone that Sandstone Parkway that interconnects Oberlin Road to State Route 58 did open on August 26th. It was actually a surprise. I know when the county engineer was going through their final walkthrough on the punch list of items they wanted the contractor to correct, they thought it would be opening the succeeding week, and it was August 26th they did their final walkthrough, but they had met every one of the items, and so the county engineer said, hey, the contractor is going to open it up. I did find out later there was one item that the county engineer changed. They originally thought this was going to be a 35 mile per hour road. They found out that with the roundabouts and the roundouts, that you can't drive 35 miles an hour on that road with a vehicle unless you're really pushing it, and an expert driver. So the speed limit was reduced to 25. And my response to the county engineer was that the static traffic control devices that we put in place and are doing their job, because those were deliberately put in place to slow the traffic and keep it from being a raceway. And originally there were all full roundabouts, but during the negotiation and the settlement agreement, we did agree to change 2 of them to just roundouts versus roundabouts. But in any case, their whole purpose is to slow the traffic and prevent major types of accidents that would actually injure people. There's also on August 28th is the Planning Commission did approve the next phases of 4 seasons, being phases 4, 5, 6, and 7. So Ryan, the developer still has to go through site plan review and coming through you, but the Planning Commission did approve that. They also approved the Sandstone Mill, which is the single-family homes. 4 season is the 55 and over, which is phases 3 and 4. So they both received what they call preliminary approval from the Planning Commission. That really encompasses all of the residential sections. My understanding is that when I went to a subdivision review subcommittee, and I know David was there also, it was tabled because the subdivision review subcommittee wanted another emergency connector point between 4 seasons and the single-family residential section. I don't understand how Lorraine County Planning works, but somehow they approved a variance on that, and I was not aware that was even a scheduled meeting. I don't know how they did that, but what they explained at the Planning Commission meeting, since that a variance was approved and the developer had shown where they're putting in the emergency access, is that the Planning Commission decided to approve all of the phases for the residential section. We also had on September 4th, Chris did send out to everyone the OTARMA free appraisal that we received. It's actually dated July 18th. I assume that's when they actually came through and did the appraisal, but we just received it, so take a look at your email. Obviously, they indicate that's not for public dissemination. Then also on, Georgianne, can you bring up the local government fund distribution? On September 4th, we received notice that the 2026 local government allocation and percentages were completed. Might be a little hard to see on here, but essentially the portion of the roughly $13 million that the state sends to Lorraine County is Amherst Township, and realize these are estimates right now, that Amherst Township would receive $83,761. I know up here it might give it as a higher percentage, but that percentage is the percentage of all the rest after the county's 30% and the over 27% that goes Lorraine. The actual percentage that Amherst Township receives from that roughly 13 million is 0.647%. And since there was that settlement with a lawsuit that was filed by the city of Lorraine, which Amherst Township was not named in the suit, so we had contested that, that fixed the allocation percentages for now until sometime when that ever gets changed. And since the county gets one vote, the largest city gets one vote, and all the other municipalities and townships together are one vote, it's probably never going to change. So as we grow, as we are now, you would expect that there'd at least be some sort of redistribution of those funds based on the size of your community, whether that be by your needs, whether it be by your population, whether it be by the number of roads. None of that is considered. It's a straight percentage. That was Lorraine had one in that the communities, I think they were all concerned with having to go and justify their budget before the Budget Commission. So it was simpler to just say, yeah, we'll agree to this percentage. The communities that get hurt, though, are the growing communities, because those growing communities will have more service needs, but they're not going to get a fair share allocation. So we are fixed at that less than 1% of these funds. And then the state, as you're aware, over the years keeps playing with the proportion of how they even determine what the local government fund allocation is. That has continually gone down. The largest we've ever hit, I think we got up to 140,000 at one year. So you can see it doesn't look good. The money's actually been cut as far as what our allocation is. They're also, and it's just penciled in on your agenda because this just came in on September 30th, which is a Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. If you're interested, on the 4th floor in Conference Room B, Lorraine County Administration Building, Lorraine County Budget Commission will be going over the 2026 numbers, and after that we'll receive our official certificate and the tax rates that are in place with their best estimates. And we'll probably get that within a week or so after that, I assume, Chris, and Chris will email that out as soon as she receives it. So that's it as far as the correspondence. So we'll move on then to, as far as ambulance, I have asked Brandon Amaki, the fire chief in Amherst, give out some dates for our next meeting in the Sandstone Joint Ambulance District in November. And it's possible Brandon may have been at his full-time position. I haven't heard from him yet, but he normally gets back pretty quick. So hopefully within the next couple of meetings, I'll be able to let you know when we're meeting in November. And I know that the other two Amherst Township representatives Melissa Gilker and Dave Freeman are going to need to know those dates also. Okay, zoning, Ryan?
Yeah, year-to-date, total permits, 119. 57 of those are new construction. Collected is $72,444.45, with the park fee at $11,500.
Thank you. Any questions for Ryan?
No.
And just, Chris, just as we go through the budgeting process, keep in mind that park fee, we're going to try and use that more for larger capital, not ongoing maintenance. And Ryan, I think you're lucky in the zoning commission, BZA, this is an unusual month. I see nothing that we're aware of that they're going to have on their agenda coming up in the near term. They've had an awful lot of high activity here in the last few months, but I think they get a clean slate for next meeting unless something comes in that we don't know
I
about.
haven't received anything, so, yeah, seems that way.
Okay. All right, roads, parks, and cemeteries, Superintendent Smarsh.
I don't have anything to bring forward other than everything's running smooth, and we are about to start on some catch basin repair. Still in schedule with sandstone excavating with the concrete replacement. And I called again on the dump truck today, and I left a message, but no return phone call. So I'll be on him again tomorrow if he doesn't call.
We'll probably be going through the same thing on the fire truck, but we've still got over a year left on that, so I'm not making any calls.
Right.
And I may work with Brandon or one of his guys in the future and let them chase it down, because I know they're getting the new pumper also, which, you know, from the same location. So, okay, well, there is, Kevin and Linda did complete the OPWC round 40 applications, which were due to the county engineer just in the penciled-in format by September 5th. So that is with the county engineer, and once we hear back from the engineer's office, we'll get that entered into WorkWise. And if you have any questions, if you look under the section on roads in item 6, as far as the specific locations, you'll see that it's now delineated. There's a 300-foot by 14-foot section on Deepwood Lane from residence number 312 to 318. And then there's also an estimated 130-foot full width of concrete just from the seam of the straightaway heading into the cul-de-sac on Deepwood. So only half that cul-de-sac would get replaced. But both of those are on there, and you can see what the estimates are. I know the statute was changed a few years ago where they don't give out those estimates to the contractors. I think many people thought they get better pricing without that. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that even Lorraine County Township Association lobbied for that. But you can look at it two ways. When we used to give the county engineer's estimate in private industry, they call it target pricing. So you're already setting a limit, and you're telling those that are bidding on the job, listen, here's the target. We aren't expecting to see things come in above this, hoping that we'll get multiples below, so you just set, that's the peak. But, you know, it seems like from what I've seen and the experience since that statute change, is that the contractors are using the same cost estimates that the county engineer is that are provided by ODOT, so their numbers usually are pretty darn close. I do want, Georgianne, can you bring up the spreadsheet for Oberlin Road? Okay, Kevin, Linda, and I met, was it last Thursday morning, I believe, with Bob Kleiber from the county engineer's office. The main topic was this, where we've been working on now for several years, is a transition of Oberlin Road responsibility from the township to the county, and then also the maintenance of Sandstone Parkway. And just as a reminder, the county engineer's position is that transfer of Oberlin Road couldn't happen until the connector was made from Oberlin Road to 58. And as I reported earlier, that connector was just open late August. So now there's still a process that we have to go through by statute. County commissioners with the county engineer have to agree to take over Overland Road and also agree to the maintenance agreement for Sandstone Parkway. Since Kevin and Russ will take care of the maintenance of all the lesser streets in the residential section of the Sandstone development, other than Redwood, which is all private, so the southern portion of that development, and they're already traveling down Sandstone Parkway, is we've agreed that the township will take over the winter maintenance, and also if we see anything as far as a storm event coming in, is the clearing of the catch basins, making sure there's not debris or something in there that's going to block the drainage. And there may be emergencies. Generally, it's going to be, since there aren't large trees there, you're usually talking something where large animals that might get hit, to get those moved out so that there's not a safety issue there. But we wanted to look at this. What's the real impact if we tried to dollarize this? Well, first off, if you scale out, Overland Road is just under 3 miles in length, whereas Sandstone Parkway, not counting the roundabout, but scaling the through portion of the street, is just a hair over 1.25 miles. And so if the county takes over Overland Road for the 3 miles that the township has, just in the resurfacing, and this is what I'm showing on this particular slide, if you look at the top table, when we last resurfaced Overland Road, we did it in 3 sections, and we always do it in sections. We had even discussed doing it in 4 different sections, just so that we can stay within budget in a financial scope that we can handle. So you can see that from the Turnpike to Middle Ridge we did in 2015, State Route 113, the Ohio Turnpike overpass, we did in 2017, and then from Overland, from Middle Ridge to North Ridge, we did in 2023. Now it looks like there's a big time differential there, but the reason that waited until 2023 was we were aware that the county was putting in some sanitary sewers, and their project got delayed, and that forced us to keep putting off the resurfacing. And I know we did get some complaints from people about some of the potholes that were there and popping up and why we weren't doing it, but it made sense. We did not want to resurface that road and then to turn around, the counties, their contractors are cutting it up to put in sanitary sewer. So that was why that got delayed to 2023. Now, if we take what the actual costs were when we bid that out, and we inflation adjust that to today's dollars, that's what's in the center table there. So essentially, to resurface Overland Road just with its current width and milling and resurfacing 1.5 inches, we're just under $1 million. So if we look at that in terms of, well, that road, because of the traffic intensity, motor vehicle accidents that occur there, we generally are successful in obtaining Ohio Public Works Commission grant funds. And the third table there at the bottom, and it's got some highlights in yellow, is the proportion that we've been able to obtain in the past from Ohio Public Works has been roughly 57%. That means 43% is the township's responsibility, a little over $400,000. If we take the typical useful life and resurfacing that asphalt road, and I know if you look at ODOT, they'll say 12 years, but we've been tending to stretch it to 15 years, is we're looking at just under $27,000 a year as far as just the resurfacing cost. That would now switch over to the county. Realize there's additional costs there, and that's the plowing, salting, pothole repair, crack sealing, striping, road signs, the berming, mowing, ditch and storm clean out, guardrails, everything else that Kevin and Russ and Daryl have to do, that would now switch over to the county. But what the township would do is take over the winter maintenance and anything as far as emergency obstructions or stormwater obstructions for Sandstone Parkway. We are not, the county would still take care of all of any repairs, resurfacing, main drainage, signage, that sort of thing. And there is going to be some striping and arrows that get in there. So the county would still take care of the things that can be put in planning and maintenance. But the things that are unpredictable, like, ice and snow and rain, is the township will take care of that regular maintenance. So I just wanted the trustees to see this. We will have, there is a maintenance agreement for Sandstone Parkway here. Now, I can't say this might not change because it hasn't been final review through the prosecutor's office yet. But it will, when we receive that, I don't expect any changes. But if there is, we'll bring this forward again and make the adjustments. But I just want to get this done so that if the prosecutor approves it, the Board of Commissioners approves it, we can go ahead and get this contract signed. So with that, I'm just going to make this motion to get it on the floor. This is an authorization of a maintenance agreement for Sandstone Parkway pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5535.08A. And you can see attached to the resolution is the maintenance agreement. Specifically says Amherst Township at its sole cost shall be responsible for all snow, ice, and debris removal. Lorraine County Engineer at its sole cost shall be responsible for all routine and capital roadway improvements, including but not limited to pothole patching, pavement markings, resurfacing, traffic control devices and signs, and concrete curb repairs. And the Lorraine County Engineer at sole cost shall be responsible for all associated roadway drainage maintenance, operation, capital repairs, and replacement. So that, it's a very simple maintenance agreement. Again, I don't expect any changes, but if there are, we'll bring this forward at our next meeting and make adjustments. So that's my motion to bring it to the floor, and I'm going to ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I got a question. Sandstone Parkway is now a county road, correct?
Correct.
We don't do maintenance on other county roads.
Correct.
We don't have, matter of fact, the only maintenance agreement that I'm aware of that we have is a small maintenance agreement for the hill on Middle Ridge Road by the cemetery, or by Powell South Amherst Road. It's the only maintenance agreement, and we have that with the city of Amherst because there's a small section that's in and out of the township, and it creates shall we say, a broken responsibility, patchwork responsibility, and it was just let the city take care of the entire hill. Okay. My question is, we don't do this for other county roads, we don't do it for Quarry Road, we don't do it for South Amherst. Why do we want to do it on Sandstone? I don't understand that. That's my question on that. A county road's a county road. We can do things if we have to, but we're not obligated. And generally, the county takes care of the county, and we take care of the townships roads. That's the question I bring up, Neil.
Okay, well, let me try and explain it, David, if you couldn't intuit it from everything I explained prior to this and leading up to it. Let's start out with roads in general in Ohio. You have county roads, you have state roads, and then the way they work it, and take the Ohio Turnpike separate, any road that is not designated a county road or state road, that's up, an unincorporated area, by default is a township road. That's the way the statute's written. The county commissioners, and there is an Ohio Attorney General opinion out there, they can just at will decide they're no longer going to maintain a road. So who gets stuff taken care of it? The township. They can unilaterally make that decision. It's already been done in other counties. Townships have barked about it, but they lose. This one, what we've asked for, we, the Amherst Township, the logic was, we look at Oberlin Road and the unincorporated area is county road, except when you get to Amherst Township. It's a township road. Bob said he could go ahead and have someone redo it, and I said, we don't want to put somebody through extra work just for the sake of it, but he found out about 100 years ago it was changed, but he couldn't find out why it was changed, where it became a township road. Who knows what the reason was then, because I said at that time it might have just been dirt or gravel, for all we know. But we're looking at the cost right now just to resurface that road. $1 million. On an annual basis, 15-year life, $27,000. That means, David, we need to be...
Okay.
Well, let me finish. You asked, I'm going to answer it.
What did that have to do with Sandstone Park?
I'm going to explain it. So now we're putting aside, we have to put aside $27,000 a year, make sure we have the money held back to pay for it. Not do what was in the past, where we receive property taxes from subdivisions and we use it to pay for the main road. So we wanted to turn this road over to the county. What leverage or, what reason would the county take the road over? Knowing that just with that's $1 million, plus you got plowing, you got salting, you got berming, you got roadside mowing, you got potholes to take care of, you got striping, you got road signs need to be repaired, you got guardrails, people hit them, they wear out. So the agreement was, when they saw this development coming, is that when State Route 58, a major route, is interconnected with Oberlin Road, the county will take over the road, which is 3 miles, if the township agrees to the maintenance of winter maintenance of Sandstone Parkway. When we, Amherst Township, requested the roundabouts, 2 of which became roundouts, one still a full roundabout, as traffic control to minimize injury to people and major vehicle accidents, which also, in addition to people getting hurt, is a major cost to us, because every time the fire department comes out, and now we've got ambulance we pay for also, that's $800 to $1,000 a trip. So there's also a financial cost there. By slowing that traffic down, we are going to minimize those serious accidents. But the county, with their dual axle, the way they explained it, is it'd be more difficult for them to maneuver their plow trucks around it, whereas we've got the single axle. And I even joked with them that, well, we've got better drivers, so we won't have a problem. We'll get through that. And it's 4 passes. So since the county's agreeable to this, that's how we get the negotiation where they'll take over Oberlin Road. If you want to say no to winter maintenance only, the county is not going to take Oberlin Road, which is going to cost us significant more money. And the statute specifically allows us to do this. And the other logic is we're going down that road anyway. So what we're going to do is drop the plow, and we put down some additional salt. I did talk with Bob about the county providing the salt, and it's like, wait a minute, Neil, we're taking over 3 miles, you're taking 1 1/4. I think you guys need to put down your own salt. How am I going to say no to that? You know what, Bob, I can't argue your logic, it makes sense. We do not want to have this, and what the extra work we get is Kevin and Russ just have to make 2 additional passes into the commercial end. That's what they've got to do. And why would they not do the commercial end? Because now what you're going to do is force the county, coming down a state route, which they don't do, come over just to do the commercial section. So this is a give and take to work something out better for both of us. And so that's the reason that we're negotiating to do this. So to me, it's simple logic in doing it. If the county would do it all, that'd be wonderful, David, but that's not the case. and I'm not going to give up the opportunity of getting Oberlin Road changed a county road, which I think it always should have been. So now it'll be a full county road all the way through in the unincorporated area. So that's the logic and the reason. So what we're agreeing is to that maintenance. And the other maintenance, as far as debris removal and the large animals, well, that just makes sense because there are residents. So our guys are there, normally they're gonna call us right away, or sometimes they'll call the sheriff, or our guys see it, they're gonna get out there and get that stuff taken care of. They know when the storm's coming down, they're gonna clear those catch basins. If they see bags, leaves, debris, whatever, that's plugging it up or going to resist the flow of water, they'll take care of it. So, I mean, that's my logic. I mean, do you want to still argue then to keep Oberlin Road? Because that's what'll happen. If we don't agree to this maintenance, we aren't going to get Oberlin Road changed over. That's the fact. Okay? And if I answered it completely, or do you still have another question?
My comment's still the same. I think a county road's a county road.
Okay.
As
well,
far as Oberlin being township or county, I've been township for a while, we maintained it. I don't know what standards they would change the road to right now. You know, speed limit's 55. I suppose with the speed study, you could get it down to maybe 45 or maybe even 35. But my fear would be that without doing things to, how shall we say, soften the road to slow the speed down. What's the official word for those things, like those little roundabouts on sandstone? Without putting things like those in, without doing things to make the atmosphere slower, that you wind up doing improvements and increasing the speed on Oberlin Road. And maybe you may want to go for even a lower speed limit, but that's not going to do you any good if you improve the road to such an extent that people want to go even faster. So, you know, I have fear of that. I have fear that the road's going to be re-engineered and over-engineered. That's one of my fears. The other thing, we have maintained it in the past, and it's one of our roads. About half our road mileage is on main lines, and a little over half is on subdivision streets right now. You know, another item too, Neil, if you take that logic, well, maybe we should think about finding a home for Stang Road or...
I'd love to. I've told you that before. If the county would take Stang Road, Bechtel Road, Middle Ridge Road, North Ridge Road, I'd love them to take them, but they're not going to, David, because as they pointed out, then every other township's going to say, take mine also. This is going to actually save money. Keep in mind that the county engineer is now going to have access to more funds than we do. And they're a bigger gorilla. So I guess I don't, and if I understood you right, you're saying they might over-engineer the road better than we maintained it? So that people can go faster? That's not going to happen. If anything, you know that as traffic intensity increases, the speed limit on Oberlin Road is going to be decreased. I don't know if any type of traffic calming devices will ever be put in place of Oberlin Road because of the cost. You've seen where other communities have been going more and more to roundabouts, but it is expensive because you got to take larger property. You know, that was the whole reason in negotiation back and forth. When we had the full roundabouts here, it took a lot of property. Well, then the developer gets fewer units. Fewer units means lower profit. So there was an agreement with the number of people coming through each intersection. All right, instead of roundabouts, we need some other traffic calming, so that's where the roundouts came by. But I'm still, I can't see arguing for Amherst Township to maintain a piece of capital that's over $1 million just to resurface, not counting all the other costs. So $27,000 a year just the resurfacing, plus all the other costs. If the county's willing to take that, but asking us to do the winter maintenance, I think that's a very reasonable trade-off. And, you know, unless there's something else, I have nothing more to say, and I think we're ready for a vote. Okay?
All right.
You didn't have anything, Denny?
No.
All right, roll call then, Chris?
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Uri?
No. What,
9/3/25.
what is it?
9/3/25.
Okay, Senior Services Township Administrator Linda Ashley.
First thing is Medicare open enrollment is approaching quickly, October 15th through December 7th. Anybody that needs to have a comparison for their Medicare prescription coverage can give me a call to schedule an appointment. I will tell you that my husband's plan for prescription just went up by $40 a month. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people calling because it looks like they've increased the amounts greatly this year. So just keep in mind, and that's something that we do every year. The only time to change your prescription plan on your Medicare is during this open enrollment. So if you miss it, you have to wait till next year. You'll be locked into something for an entire year. Just keep it in mind. We've been working on addresses for Sandstone. As you said, the phases have been approved, so we're trying to get a head start on that. I know John Evanson wants some of the commercial addresses, and we've been trying to work on that too. It's not just an easy thing just to pull an address out of the air, so it does take some time. Our Xerox is ordered. It'll be delivered in 2 to 3 weeks, and they will haul away our old one. And no, it is NOPEC eligible, so once we pay the $4,600 for the Xerox and I get the payment voucher from Chris, we can get reimbursed from NOPEC to cover that. Tools were ordered for Kevin, the battery-powered tools. They came in at $3,261. That is eligible for NOPEC reimbursement also. I do have the payment voucher for that. I will put that in probably tomorrow. They're Energy Star rated, so we can use that $29.58 that we had to use by November 30th. So that'll clear that out. And then just a few, couple $100 more. We got Kevin a new computer. We got a couple new laptops because our computers were not going to upgrade to the Windows 11. They were all old. So we will be changing those over pretty soon.
I do the same thing at home.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yep.
And as you said, the OPWC stuff, we turned those in, so that's about it. So we'll just wait for the integrating committee and figure out if we get the projects funded.
Yeah, and then, no, I suppose you can work on it separate as then the mini grant applications, so we're ready to go when they open it up January
Yes.
2026.
It's
We've
on my
got 'em.
list.
Okay, I figure you would. And that, as you're aware, leverages these OPWC projects if we get those approved. Either way, we're eventually going to have to replace the bad catch basin.
Correct. That's it.
Want to have any questions for Linda?
No. No.
All right, as far as complaints, Kevin, you want to address the one where the drainage complaint over on Balsam?
There were some log jams in the ditch behind the complainant's house, but it was not on her property. We went to the property owner on Dewey Road. He was willing to sign a temporary easement, and Russell and I went down there and cleared out the log jams, and everybody's happy.
Okay, great. So I'm going to close that one out. And I don't know, Ryan, I had the one on here. I don't recall if you saw this. There was a pit bull at large. I mean, the people there on Fieldstone been notified to contact Lorraine County Dog Warden.
I haven't spoken to them.
Okay. All right. Well, that's, yeah, I mean, that's where they need to contact them and the sheriff. That's not something, you know, we can really, we don't have the staff for. But obviously, somebody's got to maintain control of their dog. You might just want to get the phone number when you call them and let them know. Okay, as far as unfinished business that you have specific responsibility for, do you have anything to report?
I have nothing.
Okay, David?
I have nothing really to bring forward.
Okay. I know Georgianne's working on the newsletter for hopefully printing in September. Unfortunately, she got called for jury duty. She did get out of yesterday, didn't have to, she got dismissed, but she got picked today, so I don't know what that's going to do. That potentially could delay the newsletter, hopefully it does not. I think she was after 3 o'clock by the time she got home today. All right, is there any new business? Our next meeting will be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, September 23rd. Kevin, any need for any work session?
No, sir.
Okay. As far as an executive session, I don't think there's a need. I can just tell you that as far as the annexation under consideration in the vicinity of Albrecht and Fowl is still waiting to make arrangements for a meeting with the Elyria Law Director. And I just received another email from the developer on that today, but I know he had also sent an email last week. They got his attorney contacting Elyria, and it's just hasn't been able to get a meeting set up, but the prosecutor will be there when that comes available. So if there's no other business, then I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. You
He
second?
seconded.
All right, Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes.